noticeable spark in the dugout when Ariel's out there playing shortstop?
Yeah, I mean, he's a lovable kid, and I think the guys enjoy his passion for the game. At times, I would find myself even envious of just how much he truly likes playing. It's a never-ending vibe he has for wanting to be out there, wanting to do different things defensively, and it's not like he doesn't like to hit too. But I think that's kind of the source of what we've got going right now with our team is they pull for each other, and when it's their opportunity, they seem to be prepared and skilled enough to attack the task with a decent success rate. And when it's not, they're kind of tuned into what the other guys are doing, and they got their back, which has got some value to it. It makes your teammate a better player, but he's already a good player.
What went into Robin? Obviously, Billy out, you had to reshuffle some things, but Robin going to lead us spot?
It's kind of like having a Friday guy. You know, you want a guy that is going to lead you into battle. You know, somebody that if he was kind of literally leading the charge, you would want to get behind him. And Robin is that type of guy. He's as competitive as it gets, but he's also really good at understanding the strike zone and is going to be able to get on base, whether it's that or because of, you know, he's a good hitter as well. He's got good hand-eye. So felt like he could kind of lead us into the charge and, you know, make Simo shoulder the load of that three-hole. And each spot, you know, you're kind of only in that spot one time through the order, and then it's all mixed and matched. But having said that, these kids and you all and coaches put labels on each spot, and, you know, sometimes they're true, sometimes they're not. But the one thing about kind of sitting in that three-hole, whether it be Billy or Simo, you're kind of saying, I'll jump on this grenade for the team, and I'll kind of, you know, wear this a little bit, I guess, wear this responsibility.
It's been the key for Reese kind of taking advantage of his opportunities the last few times out.
I think just kind of getting comfortable out there and the game coming slower to him rather than it maybe, and I don't mean to speak for him, but maybe at times it's kind of gone fast for him because, you know, it's your first year on campus as a freshman last year and you're trying to take advantage of these opportunities so the coaches will play you more and it turns into this big extra game, not just the game of baseball. But this year, for the most part, I mean, we started him game 2 of the year. Certain guys like Robin have done well, so maybe he gets squeezed out a little bit on some reps in there, but we've always wanted to keep him involved, and he's a trustworthy defender and a really good base runner. But the hitting part is just unlocking that skill that he has to hit by relaxing and playing and knowing that he belongs. And he's always kind of walked around with the proper posture and kind of the right mojo, but I think right now it's sincere and it's true, and he really believes in himself, and he should, for good reason. He's had a lot of success in his life hitting, and he's worked ultra hard in here. I don't know if he takes as many reps as anybody else, but his intent behind his reps is probably the standard for our team.
You threw a lot of freshmen today. What's been your biggest takeaway on those young arms, especially today?
That they're capable. I think, you know, an obvious question to ask before this is over is how our shortstop played. And to be honest with you, he played well, but he just played like himself. If anything, he could have had a better game, I'm sure, if he would have driven the ball like he did his first at-bat, which is really hard to do. He drove 2 balls his first at-bat. But everything he did today did not surprise anybody in our dugout. And that's not to say he's the greatest player ever or to be arrogant either, but it's just not a surprise. It's what they're capable of doing. I tell you that long story to tell you the pitchers should see themselves as the same way. What they did today to keep down a good team that if they get on the bases, they're going to run, and they've got good numbers, and, you know, they come in. A lot of kids are from this area, so they either love or hate the Vols, which can play into the deal. They did what they're capable of doing, you know. They can throw strikes, and when they do, it's really good stuff. Schaefer, it's really good stuff. I consider Marcus Phillips a freshman just based off what, you know, he went through last year, and that stuff was, you know, it was kind of the exclamation point on the night with what he had going. So no surprise, it's what they're capable of, and I look forward to the next opportunity for them to do it.
You kind of touched on it a bit there, but how important was it for those freshman arms, no walks tonight?
It was huge because, you know, it allowed our offense, after not capitalizing on a first and third and a bases loaded and then maybe another bases loaded, it allowed them to breathe and go out there and kind of, you could see the swings become a little more free and the chatter in the dugout become a little more free because our pitchers literally took control of the game. They did it with our guys playing catch behind them, but it all started with them playing catch with the catcher. And no, that was huge. That's a staple of what Frank does, is, you know, throw strikes. When we look at a guy recruiting-wise, it's can this guy throw strikes, and they wouldn't be in uniform if we didn't think they could. So kind of back to my other point, it's no surprise some guys threw a better pitches than others tonight, or got away with a mistake maybe. But the bottom line is they all had good presence and they threw strikes, and I think they truly attacked their opportunity that they knew they were going to get today.
And what can you tell us about Billy's situation, and where are you with AJ?
Yeah, with AJ, kind of waiting to see what's there, and I would expect kind of, maybe we went too quick or maybe we didn't. I don't think there's a real answer there, but maybe kind of back to where we were got to let things calm down and let him rest. So I wouldn't say we're in any kind of hurry with that or anything on the horizon for him anytime soon. With Billy, I think it will be sooner than later, but with the appendix situation, he had to go all of a sudden. Anyone who's dealt with that, it's an all of a sudden thing. Go to the hospital, get things worked on, and so for him to be available this weekend isn't a reality. But I think sometime soon after is definitely a reality. And it was nice to see him healthy enough to be in the dugout, and he gave part of the post-game speech and stole my thunder. So he's good at a lot of things. He's kind of one of those guys, for players like me that aren't very good, you kind of want to smack him sometimes. But it's nice to write his name in the lineup, but that'll be a little while.
How excited are you to deal with Charlie Condon this weekend?
Their whole team, I understand, has hit a lot of home runs. And, the standard answer for you guys is we haven't really looked at things yet because you're worried about Tennessee Tech. But I do know it's kind of like Alabama. You got a new coaching staff, and so you got a new energy and a new vibe that's going to be there that'll benefit them at the start of the year. I'm sure it has and will continue throughout the year. And then the other thing is they inherited some pretty good players. I'm sure they brought in some guys like Alabama too. Haven't dove into it enough to know that, but he's a guy that played with Simo and Drew Beam this summer, so certainly familiar with everybody that was capable of being good enough to be on that team. But there's other guys too.
With Billy sidelined, how nice is it to have Dean be able to slide over to third and kind of hold down that position while he's out?
Yeah, it's nice. I think his arm kind of plays anywhere on the field, and the first spot he was playing when we saw him recruiting was first base. And I think part of that was just kind of rangy, kid with a little bit of height and also a good attitude. I think part of the deal was he was at All-Star event. Who's willing to run over there instead of playing their normal spot like shortstop or whatever everybody's favorite spot is. So he's pretty flexible and able to go anywhere that we really want to put him. I don't think he's caught before. Heck, he was even, I think I mentioned in here once, committed as a pitcher earlier in his high school career. So he's capable of doing a lot of things, and he's a fun one to be around.